going on YouTube? It's Red, and today we have a Shaddoll Invoked deck profile for you guys. I'm just going ahead and get right into it. I have a small little kaiju engine in here just to play around, get a feel for the Invoked Shaddoll feel more. And then kaijus are pretty much in here to get around Dragoon, Zeus, you know, big boss monsters like that. But getting into it, we play triple Wendy. Unfortunately, it would actually be triple Alistair if we had 3 Alistair, but I only have 2, so I decided to up a card that's a 2 of for a play starter to a 3 of for the other engine. So if you flip summon this, you can special summon a Shaddoll monster from your deck face up or face down, and then if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you get to special summon a Shaddoll monster face down. We play 2 Beast, flip up the Beast, draw 2, discard 1, send Beast to the grave by card effect. You only get to draw 1, and you can only get 1 of their effects per turn, so you can't do their flip and then send. Aerial. You flip Aerial, you target a banished Shaddoll monster and special summon it. Face up or down, and then if this card is sent to graveyard, you can target up to 3 cards in either player's graveyard and banish them. 2 Hedgehog, questionable about going to 3, but 2 is perfectly fine. You send it to grave by card effect, you get to search for a Shaddoll monster, you flip it face up, you get to search for a Shaddoll spell or trap, which typically you search for your Shaddoll fusion or your El Shaddoll fusion to get your fusion plays going. Another card in question, Squamata, being at 2. It could possibly go down to 1, but right now I'm kind of enjoying the 2. You can, when it's flipped, target a face-up monster on the field, destroy it. When it's sent to grave, you get to send another Shaddoll monster to the graveyard. 2 Dragon. We're entering more of a control format, so I'm using 2 Dragon for the sending effect of destroying a spell or trap. But if he's flipped, you get to target 1 card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. And because we are playing Invoked Shaddolls, we are playing 2 Alistair of the Invoker. So during either player's turn, you can send this card to graveyard, increase any fusion monster on your side of the field by 1,000 attack and defense until the end of the turn. And then if you normal summon this card or flip this card, you get to search for an invocation. And like I mentioned, we're playing a small little kaiju package. So we got the 1 little Gamma Seal, the 1 Gadara, and the 1 Raiden. Gamma Seal is a negator. This guy is a attack and defense manipulation, and this guy is a 2 kaiju counters from anywhere to special summon 1 Raiden token. Huh, that's actually pretty cool. And then 1 Lava Golem, just so that way we have the fire element and to burn your opponent more for those control type players. For the spells, we play 2 Meltdown, 2 Waterfront, and 1 Terraforming to make up for the 3rd copy of each of the field cards. So Meltdown, when you activate it, you're going to search for an Alistair, and then your opponent cannot negate the activation of your fusion cards. Waterfront, you can have a max of 5 counters, and it gets a counter for every card that you send to grave. Any card that's sent to graveyard, it will gain a counter. And then you can remove, I believe it's 3 or more counters, and you can search for any kaiju monster out of your deck. Because this is a fusion-based deck, and a lot of them are pretty generic, we play 3 Super Poly just to discard and fuse with our opponent's side of the field with ours. Triple Shaddoll Fusion. This card is very, very powerful going second, especially if your opponent has a monster from the extra deck, because that allows you to use your main deck to fusion summon instead of using your hand and field. But you can also use your hand and field to do it. So I mean, worst case scenario, somebody's going to ash your Shaddoll Fusion and you're stuck playing with El Shaddoll Fusion and Invocation to make your fusion. Speaking of which, we got 2 El Shaddoll Fusion. You pretty much just fusion summon on your opponent's turn if you want to, activating this in the battle phase if you want to, just by sending the monsters from hand or field to grave. Pretty simple. 2 Book of the Law. Unfortunately, I only have 1 invocation, so I'm using a second Book of the Law to make up for the other invocation until I get it. So for this, you can tribute any invoked monster and then special summon another invoked monster from your extra deck of a different attribute. Yeah. One invocation, so you can fusion summon using your hand and field, obviously. Okay. If you're gonna make an invoked monster as your fusion monster, then you can banish the material from field or either player's, from your side of the field or either player's graveyard. One foolish because it's tech, you know, you always want to be dumping cards to the graveyard to get their effects to go off. One instant fusion, just so that way we have a fusible target if we don't happen to open up with it. Pot of Avarice, just to recycle resources back to draw and push for more of a grind. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, just destroy everything, pop 2 out, and then poke over it. And then one Shaddoll Schism to banish the monsters from your field or graveyard to make that monster like a fusion monster. And then whatever element you make, you can send, non-targeting, you can send that element. So say if you make Winda and your opponent has a Dragoon, when this goes to resolve, guess what? You get to send Dragoon to the graveyard. So yeah, that's pretty unique. That also explains why this card's so freaking much. Last but not least, extra deck, my favorite thing. Starting off, Alistair, the Invoker of Madness. So, this guy is treated as, if I can find him, main deck Alistair. If you fusion summon while he is face up on the field, you get to search for a Book of Law or Invocation. If this card is, I can't forget if he is destroyed. If he just leaves to the field because of an opponent's card effect. So if you return him to the hand or send him to grave, banish him, doesn't matter. You get to add an Omega Summon from your deck to your hand. Okay. One Cross Sheep, so Cross Sheep is mainly in here for the purpose of whenever you fusion summon to Zen points to, you get to special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard to the field. Pretty solid effects. No, actually no, the effects aren't negated, never mind. One IP Masquerena just for like those weird hands and you just want to link climb, because I find it funny to also be playing this in here because, you know, I'm fusing. I go into battle phase to take my opponent's monster, go into main 2 before it would be blown up from this effect. I would fuse with it and just really benefit from taking opponent's monsters. For our fusions, going into the invokes, we got Coitus. While he is fusion summoned and in defense mode, you can pretty much attack with him like that. He's a super heavy samurai to pretty much sum it up. I mean, yeah. One Kaliga, so whenever you activate one monster effect, guess what? Negate it. So say if this is face up and you normal summon Tour Guide, and you get to activate Tour Guide to special summon from the hand or deck, guess what? Tour Guide's negated. Going ahead, try again with your next play. Oops, my bad. One Invoked Ragin, just because this is also a flip deck, so we can flip our stuff down and benefit, or we can flip our opponent's stuff down and try to interrupt them. Just really depends on how you want to play it. One Invoked Mechaba, so with this guy, he's pretty much an Omni-Negator as long as you have the corresponding card in your hand to discard to negate. So say if your opponent activates monster effect, you get rid of the monster, negate the activation, and then banish that monster. Spell, negate the spell, banish the spell. Trap, negate the trap, banish the trap, and so forth, you feel. For the Shaddolls, we play 2 Winda. Winda really restricting your both players to only one special summon, which kind of sucks because at some points you want to go off, but this deck isn't built more for grind and control, so can't really complain too much if you're winning. 2 Construct, so battles a special summon monster, guess what? Monster is automatically destroyed. On summon, I get to send any Shaddoll card from my deck to my graveyard. Sweet, so I can either extend or get my startup play going. 1 Apcolone, just to negate any card on the field that could be a problem, or if it were to leave, search for any Shaddoll card from my deck to my hand. 1 Gristia, just to stop special summons, and then 1 Shiganaga, just to stop special summon monster effects, kind of like Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. But anyway guys, yeah, that was the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed, as usual. Hit the like button, leave a comment down below of what you guys thought. yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Like and subscribe to Metagame. Hit the bell icon.
Yu-Gi-Oh, drugging up all night, you. Voodoo like Yu-Gi-Oh.